Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Steve. How's it going?
It's good, dude. I'm currently in Cape Town, South Africa. Jack, you're in Miami?
Yeah, I'm in Miami Beach, back in the
Oh, Miami
US.
Beach, right. Yeah.
I'm trying to be like one of those local guys, like, oh, I'm actually in Miami Beach. But,
Yes, no, you're not a mainlander.
Islander for sure. Yeah.
As much as I'd love to hear about Miami, I don't care that much about Miami. What I really want to hear about, because we haven't talked about it yet, is your skydiving in Dubai that you did. Was that this week?
Yes, it was literally, it was on Tuesday.
All right.
So
send it. Let's hear it.
in the morning, I jumped out of a plane, and then at night, I took a plane back to Miami. So it was like 2 planes in one day.
Just different sizes, different size planes.
Yeah, I didn't have to jump out of the second one. It was much more comfortable.
I was actually wondering if you jumped out of a plane or if you jumped off the top of the Burj Khalifa, because I feel like that'd be a similar height.
That would be cool. I feel like there's probably some Red Bull guy who did that, right? Like,
Sure.
I'm going to drink a Red Bull. I'm going to jump off into maybe the fountains or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the Red Bull parachute, all that. Yeah. It wouldn't make me drink a Red Bull, but that would be cool.
That is the funny thing. It's like they do all these crazy athletic things and they're drinking Red Bulls. And I'm thinking these guys aren't drinking Red Bulls on their day-to-day basis. Like,
I think that about pro athletes that are sponsored by energy drinks all the time. I'm like, if you guys are really drinking that shit, you're not a real athlete. Like, that shit is terrible for you.
yeah, the only people I see drinking Monster are definitely not playing basketball.
Yeah. Okay, so skydiving. Let's hear it.
Okay, yeah. So it was kind of a bucket list thing for me. I really wanted to go skydiving like once in my life. And so it's like, okay, well, skydive Dubai, like it's supposed to be really cool. You go to like essentially like the base of the palm in Dubai. So the Palm Jumeirah is like Dubai's like man-made island, basically, that literally looks like a palm tree. And so at the like trunk of the palm tree, they have essentially like the skydiving place. And so, you get to kind of go up in the plane and then you drop out and then you're kind of over the palm. And then consequentially, you can see the Burj Khalifa, the Burj Al Arab, like the whole cityscape. And I was like, oh my God, I got to do this. This would be a great place to do it. Yeah, if I die here, it'd be pretty cool anyway. Like, I think.
Yeah.
And Dubai is so safe, right? So I'm like, okay, safety must extend to skydiving.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really like scared until like I got in the plane. And I'm thinking to myself, as I get into this plane, it's like 2 benches. There's all these people in the plane. It's not like a rickety plane, but it's, there's no actual seats. You're just kind of sitting there and they have like what looks like a garage door just like kind of closed down on the side of the plane. And I'm like, man, once they close that door, I was like, oh my God, there's only one way out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is a little scary. Wait, so you have a dude on you though, right? You went with like a guide?
Yeah, so you have like a dude, but this is hilarious, right? It's like I go in and I thought there would be like a class or like I got to watch a video or like they're going to tell me. This guy just comes up to me and he's like, hey, like, we're jumping together. He didn't even introduce himself. To this day, I don't even know what the guy's name was. I'm like, bro, I'm trusting you here. Like, I don't know if you don't do your job properly, I'm going to die. Like, and you can't even say, hey, I'm Joe. Like, come on, like, I'm sorry, I'm not like maybe he's like, I'm probably like the like 20th average white dude that has come in today to go skydiving, and he's like, whatever, I don't even care about you. But I'm like, come on, a little bit of customer service would have been great.
Maybe he didn't want to know your name in case you died and like he killed you. He's like, I don't want to know the guy that I caused his death.
Yeah, like he already made that mistake in the past. He's like, man, this,
I'll never forget Jeffrey. Yeah.
So this time, I'm not going to get better at my job. I'm just going to make sure it's just really forgetful.
Yeah.
So like I thought there would be like a class and everything, right? And no, it's just, okay, go sit over here. I get my name called. I put on some harness and he's like, okay, so, I'm going to be behind you and I'll tell you everything what to do. Just go sit there. And so we go get on the plane. I'm like, all right, like I get it. It's just like you jump out of the plane. Like, I guess it's not like, you got to know the rules of the game, but it's kind of dangerous, right? Like, I would love to at least something like, hey, like, if it goes wrong, like tuck and roll or something like that. Like, but there was just zero instruction.
Did you at least sign something like a form that says, if I die, it's all good?
Yeah, basically, yeah, you got to sign your life away and be like, sorry, dude, like, we won't even mention you because that's bad for business. We're going to, like, hide the fact that you died because, like, we need to still make money here,
That is savage, yeah, because they should definitely still be in business. If people are dying, they should definitely stay in business.
Yeah, they got rent to pay on the property. I'm sure it's expensive. It's a premier location. Like, I don't want them to go underwater on my account.
That's nice of you.
Yeah. So this guy, whatever his name is, just puts me in the hull harness thing, and we get, and then I paid for like some camera stuff, right? So there was like, it was like me and the guy, and then there was like another guy who like basically like filmed the thing for me. I was like, okay, if I'm gonna die, like my mom should see my last moments, and if I don't die, I want to like share the memories with people. And so
that's good.
Yeah. So, we get in the plane. I'm like a little scared, like waiting around. But yeah, getting in the plane, I was like, okay, this is serious. Like, I actually don't know what to do because you haven't told me anything. And the hilarious part is, right, it's like, so it's like a bench on the side, and I'm kind of like sitting like this, and he's kind of sitting behind me, and he's like kind of like strapping himself into me. There's like these, I don't even really know what he's doing, but he's like tightening me up, like we're like stuck together at this point. And like in my like right ear, he's like, like not yelling at me, but it's kind of loud. It's not like like the cabin is loud. It's not like being in like a, like a plane where you can talk normal voice. You're kind of like yelling, right? Because you hear the wind and stuff. And he's yelling like at this point, now he's giving me instruction, right? And I can't hear him. He's not like a native English speaker. Like, I don't actually know what he's like saying. He's like, you got that? Like, and then like, he'd be like, okay, let's practice, right? And I don't know what he's saying. So I like, try to like figure out what he's saying. He's like, no, not like that, like this. I'm like, I can't even see, but okay, like this, I got it. You know what I mean? It's like so ad hoc. But the thing that really helped me out was, there was a few people that went first. So I was like third out of the plane. So if I would have been first, I would have been like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. But I got to like see like two other people go jump before me, and I was like, oh, okay, like I get like what we're supposed to do now. And those people seem to have gotten better instruction than I did, so they weren't like super worried about it.
Okay, quick question. You said you could see the cityscape and stuff, but could you see the actual outline of the palm from up there? Like you could see that it looked like a palm?
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's tight.
Yeah. So you're like literally like on top of it, and you can see the whole thing just completely in your view without having to like turn your head. Like you're that high up. I think it was like, I don't know, I want to misspeak, maybe like 10, 12,000 feet, something like that. So I think about a third of the way up for like a normal plane, something like that. And so, they open up the thing, and then there's like this light. There's like a red light that says basically like, don't jump. And then there's like a green light. I think that's like the jump light. But they open up the door before it's like the green light. So it's like the door's open and you're like not allowed to jump yet, but like the door's open. So you're like seeing the plane drive around, and I'm like holding on, like I don't want to slip out of this plane like before it's too early. But anyway, it worked out great. So we get out in the very beginning. It's, you don't pull the parachute right away. So you're free falling, and it's a crazy experience. It's crazy. And it doesn't feel, if you ever done like cliff jumping or, jumping from like heights, you like feel that like falling motion, like, oh my, like I'm falling. But I feel like it's because you don't have like a really like a point of reference in the same altitude you are. So I didn't feel like I was falling. I felt like I was like flying or like rushing through the atmosphere. And that was such a cool feeling. I was like screaming. I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like,
Wow.
and then,
Okay.
and then finally you pull the chute and then you kind of get thrown upwards. And that was great because after that, it's like pretty calm. You're hanging out with the guy and he's like, hey, by the way, that's the Burj Khalifa. I'm like, oh, what? Like, obviously, like I knew that, but he's like, it's almost like it turns into like a sightseeing tour a little bit, like up there as you're like kind of floating down and hanging out. Then you kind of softly land. So, yeah, that was the thing. It was totally worth it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So would you do it again? Would you go skydiving again sometime?
Yeah, I would. I probably wouldn't like seek it out. Like I wouldn't go do something super inconvenient to like just to go. But, if I was in a place that was like a known skydiving spot or something, yeah, I would totally do it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess it's still on my bucket list. I've never really had a desire, but you just gassed it up so much that I think I need to do it at some point.
Yeah, you love it. Yeah, it's yeah, and it's cool. Like it's cool. You got a guy. He does everything for you. You're just like a sack of potatoes. It's fine. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So on our last episode, we made fun of Android users, and I actually checked our audience analytics and found out that a staggering 6% of our listeners are Android users. So just wanted to say sorry for giving you guys shit. So if you are listening to this on your Google or your Samsung phone, want to apologize and say, I hope your widgets are doing really well. I'm glad that you guys have never met Siri, because Siri actually kind of sucks, in my opinion. But yeah, just wanted to give that shout out to our Android fans out there.
Wow. 6%, that is substantial, but it is kind of cool that most of it's like all iPhone users. It's kind of funny. Like,
and some Mac listeners out there as well.
Oh, okay. Like desktop users.
Desktop was a higher percentage than Android listeners, but iPhone by far had the most listeners.
Okay, that's cool. That's chill. Maybe like people were on their walk or something. They were kind of doing like a mini traveling. Like, wait, let's listen to a travel podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, just wanted to get that out there. And
we really have nothing against Android users. Like, we're fine. Like, I'm 100% okay with that. So, to get that out there.
Next up, we have some Nomad news. So, I don't know if you heard about this with the gate lice. Did you hear about this?
No, what?
So American Airlines is cracking down on what is called gate lice. I wasn't familiar with this term, but basically it's people who try to board before their group is allowed. So this new technology.
Oh my gosh.
So this new technology audibly alerts everyone at the gate if someone tries to board early. So they're testing this in a few airports. So it's like Albuquerque, Tucson, and DC. And they said it's going really well. So basically, if someone tries to cut the line, you scan your boarding pass and it's not your group yet, like they'll literally be like, passenger Jack is a piece of shit. He's trying to cut the line.
By the way, we're about to be on a 6-hour flight with this guy. Don't trust him.
Hopefully you're not seated next to this loser who's trying to cut you.
Wait, this is confusing though, because obviously they must have a way to know, like they know, okay, it's boarding group 4, mine says 5, I'm going up there, but they never stop. Why don't they just stop you?
So here's part of the reason they're doing this. Okay. Is to take the pressure off of the gate attendant. Like they're not a bouncer like at a bar or something. Like they don't want to have this confrontation with you and tell you to go sit back down. They'll probably just let you go, which is what they've been doing. But they've been getting a lot of complaints from other passengers about people jumping the line. And so to take the pressure off the attendants, they're just going to make this automatic announcement.
Wow. Okay, that makes total sense. Okay, but this is my defense, right? Sometimes I'm like trying to time it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, boarding group 4, I'm 5. There doesn't seem to be a lot of 4s left.
Yeah, that's fine. I've done that before, for sure.
Wow. So now they're trying to use social pressure to fix this problem.
Exactly.
Wow.
But I don't know. My take is like, why are you jumping the line anyway? Okay, so I get that. I feel like the biggest benefit, maybe even the only benefit, is to secure overhead storage space.
Yep.
But if you don't need that, you're just sitting in an uncomfortable seat longer. Like there's not really any reason to cut the line. Like I'm usually not in any big hurry to go sit on the plane personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Those seats do suck. No, but that is because I'm a no checked bag kind of guy. And so it's like, I got this bag and my biggest nomad nightmare is I got to put my bag behind my seat.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that is something that I'm like, oh my gosh, like please, like, well, don't let that happen to me. And so I'm super strategic with it. I get on the plane, I see my first opening, even if it's like 10 rows before my seat, like I'm going in there.
Yeah, me too, because it's better to go forward than backwards when you're getting off the plane, for sure.
Right. Like how often are you actually getting into your bag on a flight? I really don't. So
I try to strategize and make sure that I have everything that I need in my pockets before I sit down. So
yes. Yes.
But yeah, it's interesting. So talking about checked bags, people forget that airlines didn't always charge for checked bags. This is a relatively newer thing. It started around 2008. So before that, people could just check bags for free.
Zero check bag fees, no matter what, before 2008.
Yeah, that's at least my very brief Google research that I did. And I had heard that before. I just wanted to confirm the year. But yeah, now checking bags brings in about $8 billion for U.S. airlines alone. So they're probably not going to do away with that anytime soon.
Wow.
But
I
that's
kind of budget airlines. Yeah, that's their whole budget airline. That's their model, I feel like. We'll give you the cheap plane ticket, but we're going to charge you $50 for the checked bag.
Yeah, exactly. And then Southwest kind of goes the other way. They're like the only airline that doesn't charge for checked bags. But then I feel like they bake that cost into the tickets. Because honestly, Southwest has way more expensive tickets that I'm seeing in a lot of cases because they have the checked bag fee kind of baked in there. You get 2 free checked bags. And I'm like, dude, I will never, now that I've learned this whole way to travel without checking bags, I probably never will again. And definitely not 2 bags. I'm never going to check 2 bags. So yeah, Southwest is not going to get my business very often.
To be honest, I don't fly a lot. When I was growing up, I flew a lot of Southwest with my parents. I don't know what changed, but I haven't flown Southwest in a long time. I usually book my flights through like Google Flights or some aggregator, and they don't show like Southwest. I don't think doesn't show their prices.
They actually just started to like a month ago.
Really? Because I was like, your website and check. If it's not on the list, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
that was their first problem. Yeah, they fixed that, but now they do show up on Google Flights, and it's just always more expensive. So I'm just like, all right, screw that.
Now, but there are people, Steve, who do check a lot of bags. Like some of these, the flight, obviously, Dubai to Miami is kind of like, it's a long flight. People are going to have a lot of baggage, but they got like shopping carts or whatever those things are, like a little girl pushing like 3 suitcases. I'm like, what do you got in there? Like, what did you bring?
Hey man, it goes back to our minimalism conversation we had the other day. Those people are not minimalists. They're built different. I don't know.
Yeah, they're like bringing their TV to the hotel room. They're like, I need this.
Yeah, their waffle maker, just in case the hotel breakfast doesn't have waffles, like they need to bring their own waffle maker.
Yeah, they're like bringing the air fryer so they can take the crappy like sausages and like the free continental breakfast, stick them in there later.
Yeah, and you can have it as an afternoon snack after they close the breakfast buffet. Yeah, strategic.
I would love to do we need to source information about like these kind of people. Like I want to meet these people that like have a ton of bags. Like we need to do a case study in a nice way. We're missing something.
Yeah, what is in your 2 check bags? Like I need to know what's in there. Not, you can keep the private stuff private. But if you do have if you do have a waffle maker or whatever it might be, like an iron, I'd like to know about that kind of stuff. So maybe we'll have someone on the pod at some point who overpacks or brings a lot of luggage.
Yeah, and we can cross-reference that with like, were they one of the 6% Android users, or is it more likely that iPhone users are the check bag people?
Dude, okay, yeah, we need some data on that for sure.
Yeah, we need some big data for sure. Yeah, like I'm almost thinking, I'm just pulling this out of my ass, but like I feel like an Android user would be lower maintenance than an iPhone user, even though we are low maintenance iPhone users.
Yeah, we are the exception, but I would agree. I feel like a lot of iPhone users, I feel like they would tend to overpack on a vacation. I feel like Android users are just like, they're just like these nerds. They don't have a lot going on. They don't have a lot of stuff to bring. Like they're chill, but maybe they're not bringing a shit ton of checked luggage. I would have to.
Yes,
I would agree with that.
They're like, Target Nirvana shirt. Like they got that shirt. They don't need to bring like 20
you know what dresses. You know what kind of shirts Android users wear? What? Is Rick and Morty, like that TV, the cartoon. They wear Rick and Morty. That's a cross reference. I bet like 100% of Rick and Morty t-shirt wearers are Android users.
For sure. And where do they get? Is that like a Target t-shirt? I feel like it would
Target, Walmart. I don't really know, to be honest, but yeah, something like that.
Dude, it is so classic seeing those shirts. Like, where they come from, It's like how Abercrombie takes off the logo, but it's Abercrombie. It's like, I see a Guns N' Roses shirt. I know you got that at Walmart. No way you went to some GNR concert recently. Like, you got that at Walmart. You were like, okay, I'm going to the electronics store. I need to pick up a new phone charger for my Android phone. And look at that GNR shirt. I'm sending that.
Definitely never listened to a single song of Guns N' Roses. Like, you're wearing the t-shirt, but you have never heard a song by them.
Right, you're confused. You think Stairway to Heaven is Guns N' Roses, like, but it doesn't matter to you. Like,
yeah. All right, well, that was talking music briefly. We're a music podcast now.
Yeah, it's a podcast for everyone.
It is. People who like music, people who like podcasts, people who like Rick and Morty. Come on down.
People have given a lot of great reviews about Rick and Morty to me. I've just never watched, but I heard it's funny. Like
everyone's like, they're like, dude, your sense of humor, like you would love Rick and Morty. And I'm just like, to be honest, here's my answer to them. I'm like, I see the people wearing Rick and Morty t-shirts and I'm just like, I don't want to be like that person. So I'm not going to watch this show. Like, that's what I associate is these people that I see. And I'm just like, I don't think that's my vibe. I'm sorry.
Yeah. For me too. It's like, you guys like, dude, it's genius humor. I'm like, dude,
yeah,
my humor is not genius. Like, that maybe like, I need something simpler here, like, let's put on some cheers. Yeah.
And I think the cartoon thing, like, I think I've hit my life limit of cartoons. Like, I can't add a new one. Like, I think Family Guy and South Park, like, that's the most I will do in terms of, like, adult cartoons. People also told me to watch, like, Buckface, or what the fuck is it called?
I don't even
Big Mouth. They tell me to watch Big Mouth. And again, I just see it's on Netflix and I just like see what it looks like. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. But anyway.
Yeah, no, and another one for me too is like Dragon Ball Z back in the day. I haven't watched it in like 15 years and I think I'm trying to just immortalize it in my head. But like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I don't need any more Adult Swim. I'm cool.
Right.
Yeah.
DBZ was sick. I definitely watched that entire saga.
Yeah, that shit ruled. Okay, but I don't want to let the gate lice thing die quite yet. I think this is like
Okay.
this is a really, in my opinion, super interesting. Like, you're basically gonna like humiliate someone. And so like humiliate people into like doing the right thing, which I mean, I guess like I guess that works. Like,
Dude,
that would work,
especially because there's
like, if I knew that was in place, like I'm definitely not going to these cities. But like, if I knew that was in place, I'd probably think twice.
I mean, those are just the test cities, though, Jack. If they open it up to every airport, like, they could get you too. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I feel bad. People can have a lot of anxiety when they travel. There are a lot of opportunities to be humiliated, whether it's your fault or not. Maybe you get humiliated by accident. I also feel bad for like people who maybe aren't veteran travelers. Like, they're new, they don't really maybe know what's going on, and maybe it is just an accident, and then they get humiliated in front of everyone. Like, that does suck for them, but whatever. We'll see what happens with this. We'll definitely keep following this story.
Oh, there is going to be some good content when that thing goes up. I would love to hear, like, do they have like a video or something of like, what is the, like, is it like a, like, is it like a police siren? Like, what, like, Bad Boys comes on? Like, what happens?
They show it like on the screen. They show like your face so everyone knows. Right? He's wearing a red shirt. Yeah.
It's like the guys, who like, I would love for them to do it for the people who, when the plane lands, they move up to the front. That's the people I want to get. Those are public N-word people.
The worst people, dude. It's worse in Europe. Like, in Europe, it's almost common practice. And I'm just like, if I'm sitting in the aisle, all of a sudden there's like a dude's ass and like balls like in my face. And I'm like, dude, chill out. Like, we're all trying to get off the plane here. You're not special. You don't need to be talk about gate lice. Yeah, that should be the new thing, is the, whatever they're called, the people who try to, deboard too fast.
Yeah, because that matters. Especially if it's an international flight, you got to go through customs. Order matters at that point, right?
Yeah, I agree. You got to catch a layover, whatever it might be. You want to get off the plane quickly, but I will never be that guy. I can't do it.
Yeah, no, I literally, it's like one of those things. It's like listening, watching Rick and Morty. I just realized I'm just going to like destroy my morals. Like, if I do that, I'm crossing like a moral boundary. I'm one of those guys. It's like, that's why I've never had a Monster energy drink unless like someone gave me like a Vegas bomb. It's like, I swear, like, I just can't ever cross that. Once I cross that, I'm going to lose all my friends. Imagine me, Steve and I, we're on a flight together and you see me do that. Are we hanging out afterwards? I don't know.
I don't know if I could, man. That's tough.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. There's other things that you can make fun of me for. I know we're being a little harsh to Rick and Morty Android users, but like we just said, we watched Dragon Ball Z. That's kind of weird too. You guys, you can make fun of me for that. There's plenty.
It's nothing to make fun of, but yeah, like,
you can make fun of like my shitty microphone. Like, I'm like a poser ass podcaster. You can make fun of a lot of things, but you will never be able to make fun of me for deboarding a plane before it's my turn.
Yeah, I'm taking that one on my grave. I'd rather be mad sitting there like, this guy, than like me, that guy. I don't ever
be that guy.
Win at their own game. I would rather clap when the plane lands than do that.
Me too. 100%. Yeah, that is on the last. Hell, I'll watch Rick and Morty. I'll do it, but I will do that before I exit the plane.
Yeah, I will binge Rick and Morty. I will even tell people, hey man, dude, you're so funny. Like, you should watch Rick and Morty. It's perfect for you. Like, I would do that before the deboard cutting the line.
All right. We can't talk about that show anymore. That's enough. We've beat that one to death.
That's fine. But it is the gate. I love a good like kind of like a good name. Like Gate Lice, what a great name. I still don't know if I like see it exactly, like, but I don't draw the connection exactly, but like it sounds cool. Like,
Yeah, like why are they lice?
yeah,
But I do like it because like lice are, yeah, they sneak in. They're like weaving through the line, kind of like your hair.
yeah.
But I like it.
But lice, they want to stay in one spot, right? I mean, well, I guess they're trying to cover all your hair, like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll do some more research on that. All right.
Yeah, maybe next we'll figure out. We'll get to the bottom of the name. I'm sure that it came from somewhere.
Yeah, we've been doing a decent job at following up on this show, I think.
Yes.
We don't want any cliffhangers. Okay, so we'll because our listeners, there's no way they could Google that or ask like ChatGPT themselves. Like they need to hear it from us. Why it's called Lice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Definitely, because we're going to be right? I mean, we're going to definitely do all this research, and we're going to teach people.
There's another thing that we are not, and we are not misinformation guys. We are true news, not fake news.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, to the best of our ability. Sometimes
embellish.
You know.
Yeah, if it's funny, like if I'm gonna say something that as a joke to be funny, then yeah, it may not always be 100% truthful.
Anything goes, just watch the news these days.
Yes. For a laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about Nomad Hacks.
The Nomad Hack this week comes from our very own host, Jack. I'm trying to not say our last names. I said my last name in an episode and I was like, shit, I don't want people like looking me up and this hack is about Capsule hotels. I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever stayed in one. I don't even know. I kind of know what this is, but you're more of the go-to guy on this. So let's hear about it.
Yeah, I've done Capsule hotels 3 times in my life. I did a Mexico City one, I did a Bangkok one, and I did a Japan one. And now it's like ever since I had a really good experience the first time, and I love it. I love it. And this is why, right? We've all been in a situation where you have a flight that lands sometime on late afternoon, evening, and maybe the next day you're going to take another flight or you're going to take a train maybe in the morning or, early morning or mid-morning, early afternoon. And it's like, okay, you got to leave the airport or the train station. You got to get to the hotel. You got to check in. And that takes like, maybe it's 20 minutes to get there. And then the next day you got to check out of the hotel. You got to get back to the airport. And if it's a city you haven't been into, sometimes it can be hectic getting to the airport. Maybe you got to come during like rush hour in the morning and it takes longer. And then you're like, oh man, I can't like miss my flight. I don't want to be stuck in this hotel. So you don't get like great sleep. There's all these logistical nightmares that come up from this sort of situation. I think nomads find themselves in these situations quite a bit.
Oh yeah. And can you maybe define what a capsule hotel is for our listeners and maybe myself who don't 100% understand the concept?
Yeah. So imagine you go to for example, the Mexico City airport has a capsule hotel and it's like in the actual terminal, and you go in and it's basically like a giant room with literally like little pods. So you think about like a hostel, right? Where it's like a big room and you see all the beds, and that sucks unless you're like 19. But this is, it's like a big room, but it's completely enclosed. So you go inside your capsule, you got like AC controls, you have like a little TV, you have lighting, you got a mirror, like you can't stand up, but you're like laying down in it. And then there's also like a shared, like either like maybe a small kitchen or like, but mostly like a shower, locker room type of scenario. You can put your bags and stuff. They'll take your big bag for you. And so they have like a shower setup, and it's really nice and really clean. And so you can check in right at the terminal, They give you, your toiletries, everything you need. You got your little capsule hotel. Before you can even get a cab in that other scenario, you're like in your situation, potentially sleeping or watching TV. So it's like extreme convenience where, and it's not a fully fledged, like you don't go to like a room, because there are hotels in airports,
Right.
but it's still more, it's still like, okay, this is your room. You go in there, maybe you got, a desk you're never going to sit at because you're there for 8 hours. This is super, because they strip it all down to basically like you have like a bed and a shared, shower, bathroom area. It's like way cheaper, right? So you're thinking, maybe like, I think in Bangkok, I paid like $15 for the night. And what's great is they have different rates. So it's like normally when you buy a hotel room, you have to you're paying for the night. But with a capsule hotel, you can be like, okay, well, I really only need it for like 6 hours. So I'm going to pay, they'll have like an hourly rate where you can just pay by the hour and be like, okay, I'm going to 6 hours. That's all I need. I don't care about like anything else. And I think that's great because you can save even more money. You're not overpaying for something you don't really need, right?
That is nice. So motels where guys have sex with prostitutes and capsule hotels both have hourly rates. Just want to make sure you got that.
Right. And now I don't know how mutually exclusive these things are. I imagine bringing a prostitute into the capsule hotel would be a little bit difficult. You got to go through the front desk. It's really small. I don't know. Like it could be a little bit not as desirable. Everyone will probably hate you because, you're right there.
Do the pods, this not asking about for prostitutes, but do the pods fit two, like, can you buy one that fits 2 people? Like if you're with your partner, or are they all kind of a single bed size?
I think you could probably make it work. In all of my situations, I had not been with a significant other in those moments, and they all have been like the size of like a twin bed type of. So I don't actually know if they'll even let you, but you could probably make it work. But it's also so cheap that maybe you don't even care.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. But there are cons. Like, for example, the one in Bangkok was kind of weird, where it's like you basically like. It's like you walk in and it's like a terminal, right? So you got like Burger King and all this stuff, and then like in the middle you have this like what looks like it just looks like a rack of pods, and you just go in there. And so when you're coming out, like people are like going to their gate and like doing things, and you're like going to brush your teeth. So it can be like a little weird, like a little bit of a lack of privacy in certain scenarios. The Mexico City one was much more closed off, and I felt like, okay, I'm in my own area. But the Bangkok one was very much like I'm sleeping in the middle of the terminal while like other people are like buying their SIM cards or like eating Burger King.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little weird, but it's like you get what you pay for, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's good because you can basically sleep right up until you need to go to your gate. So
nice. Well, I'd be down to try it. That sounds dope. Honestly, like if you need it, like that does sound like a good option. So that's cool.
Yeah. And yeah, so I definitely love it. And I look for that kind of thing now if I know that I'm in a situation like that. So
God, you're such a dope traveler, dude. Like you're just so savvy. I respect this.
Steve, thanks, man. Appreciate that. You think I should watch Rick and Morty because of that?
Dude, seriously, like your personality, like is Rick and like you're just like Morty. Like, dude, you are so Morty. Oh my God. Like the shit that he says, like Morty would sleep in a capsule hotel, dude. Like totally.
Steve, I know you're pulling my leg. Everyone else tells me I'm like Rick, and you're the first person to say I'm like Morty. You're full of shit, dude. What are you talking about?
All right. You caught me. Actually, you're Pickle Rick. Yeah, I just made a reference.
Is that a Rick and Morty reference?
Yeah, it is. That's like the one thing I know about it. There's something about he turns into a pickle on one episode, and it's like iconic.
That is so iconic. Wow,
yeah.
I mean, I do love pickles, but like, I don't know if I want to like eat a human pickle.
We should call you Pickle Jack.
Pickleback Jack?
Pickleback Jack. Nickelback, Jack.
Nickel.
All right.
Shout out.
All right. Okay. Anything else on capsules before we move on?
No, it's just a small section for a small space. So
cool. Well, today's location highlight, we're going to talk about, again, a place that both of us have been. It is Athens, Greece. So, I'm with this city. It's great. I think it's a solid nomad spot, right? Like, it's relatively cheap for Europe. Europe can get really expensive in some other cities, but this is still a good city, a well-known, iconic place that's, way less for if you're going to get an Airbnb, a hotel, buy some food, way less of a cost than, say, Paris or something like that. It also has dank food, right?
Incredible. Incredible
food. Easy access to like the Greek islands or the Athens Riviera. So just like on the coast of Greece, it can be a good jumping off point, home base to explore the rest of Greece.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed my time there. What are your thoughts, Jack?
Yeah, I felt like it was, I felt like the city had a real like energy to it. It's not like I feel like a lot of people go to Greece to go to the islands, and they probably like go to Athens for like maybe a day, if that. But I felt like because of that, it's like so authentic and kind of like it's not like dirty. I don't want to say dirty, but it's got a little seasoning to it, a little grunge. And I love that. It felt super authentic. And I felt like the food was actually better than the food on the islands, which makes total sense. I mean, they got all the resources there.
100%.
Yeah. So I'm a sightseeing guy, so I feel like Athens has a lot to offer for seeing the site. I don't even think I saw everything. I lived there for like a couple of weeks, and I don't even think got to scratch the surface. But a ton of culture, great wine, great food. It's so cliche, but the Greek salads were incredible.
They were, dude. I remember we went to this place that was just kind of like in this family's house, and they like let you come into their kitchen, and they like, you see like the grandma and they're like cooking everything. Just so authentic, and they were so nice and friendly, and the food was just like this home cooked meal, and it was amazing and super affordable. Like that shit. Yeah, I love that kind of shit.
And you know how like my experience a lot of the times is they always have table wine with their food. I love countries that do that. And I love the fact that they had like the little glasses that weren't like wine glasses. It was like almost like little cups for the wine. I loved that. Just not pretentious, like, hey, here's some table wine we just found, but it's incredible. And it's just the way they present it is just so perfect. Like it just feels so, it felt so genuine. And then you go to like, Santorini, and you're paying for a ridiculous bottle that's not even like that good, and you can just go to grandma's house.
Yeah, I will say, man, the Greek islands, I've only been to a couple Greek islands, but my take there was just they were so touristy.
Yeah.
I don't love when I'm in a place and I hear more Americans talking than local. Like it was just English Americans. That's all I heard. So it just felt like I was in Disney World a little bit. Like it didn't feel like I was in an authentic place. It was still beautiful and all that on the islands, but yeah, Athens, you definitely get the actual Greek culture.
Yeah. I felt if I hear someone talking about football that's not me, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? How did I get here?
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, no one wants to hear about the Jets or whatever. Like, if you want to talk about the Chiefs, that's fine, but like, come on.
Yeah, I agree. But that is funny, you see someone wearing like a Chiefs shirt or something, you go, dude, go Chiefs, and they're like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I just like got this shirt
all the time.
But Athens, I mean, okay, so my favorite touristy thing I did in Athens was definitely go to the Acropolis. I felt like that was a super, so cool, like on that like mountain overlooking the city. The ruins looked amazing. I didn't get like I'm not like super knowledgeable about exactly what was going on there, but whatever they built was just breathtaking. Gigantic. I'm a big pillar guy. You see those gigantic pillars, they're white, just
Dude.
just like hell yeah, like
Dude, I love pillars, dude. I mean, some people are like tree huggers. I'm a pillar hugger. Like, I just go up to those things, I embrace them.
Yeah. I could get trees; they can grow back, but those pillars, we got to preserve that.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, and so I guess the Olympics also, the very first Olympics ever was in Athens, and so that's cool. It's got a lot of history. I remember going into like the metro station, and they got like archaeological sites like excavated as you're like going down in the metro.
Yeah.
Like, man, they got so much history there. It's like, dude, we got to build some public transportation. I'm sorry, we can't put another museum here. Like, we got to like have an infrastructure in our city.
Yep. I remember seeing that, even just walking around the city, sometimes there'd be like a glass floor, and because they would have some ruins down below that you could look at. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, an abundance of culture was just, which is great. It's funny because, we talked about Dubai in our previous episode. This is like other side of the coin. They're both awesome, but great to see a difference.
Yeah, new things can be awesome, and old stuff can be awesome. And Athens has some really cool old stuff.
Yes. Yeah, I would totally go back. I know Greece does have, I believe, digital nomad visas. So if anyone wanted to do a longer stay, I think you can get like a remote worker visa for like 2 years or something. So that is cool.
That's dope. Yeah. Yeah. Now it was named after Athena, the city.
Yeah.
Anything about that?
Yeah. So from what my understanding, it was like they were choosing between which god they wanted, either Poseidon or Athena. And they each had to give a gift to the city. And Athena gave the olive tree. And everyone was like, hell yeah, these olives are fire. We're making a little crown out of the olive branches. We got wood. Oh, yeah. This is great. We love you, Athena. We're in. And so she kind of won with that bribe. I think the Poseidon gave like a horse or something, which I think is cool. I mean, I don't want to like piss off a Greek god or anything, but those olives in Greece were something else. No wonder they chose her. I've never had better olives in my life.
Yeah. Also pretty cool that it's named after a woman, that long ago. Like that's really interesting. I mean, Afghanistan like just took away all women's rights in 2024, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Could maybe talk about, but yeah, the fact that they actually cared about women back then, that's pretty cool.
So progressive, right? And they're the democracy guys as well, so
they literally invented democracy.
Yeah, so they probably invented the word woke at this point.
Wait, was it Rome or was it who invented? I don't want to say any fake news. Okay, it was Athens. Okay, we're good. Sometimes I get ancient Athens and ancient Rome confused, so I just want to make sure it was Athens. Again, fact checking myself. Yeah.
This is great. It's like the live presidential debates where you get fact checked in like the comments. Like we just did that to ourselves. Like that was good.
Dude, are you voting this week?
I'm voting.
I'm president.
Yeah, I'm voting for the president of the United States of America. I was thinking, I was like, man, I should have came back after the election. Who knows what's going to happen, but I don't need all this stress in the air. But
yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good on all that. Yeah, being in Africa, nice and far away, is a good place to be. So,
yeah.
I'm not going to vote, unfortunately. I really want to. I wish I could. I just really didn't want to fuck with the mail-in ballot thing, like while I'm in Africa. And I don't know. I feel like I'd have to use paper. Like I don't know how to use like physical paper. If it's something I could do on the computer, then I would love to do it. But I can't use like a pen and paper. Like I don't know how that works. So
it would be great if you could just send a text. Like I would love to be able to vote by sending a text.
Dude, well, I get all these texts, like these political texts, like they text me. Why can't I just be like, hey, you have my vote, by the way, and then that could count.
look, I'm not even trying to be unreasonable. Like, it doesn't have to be an iMessage. Like, I'll text an Android number to vote. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel the same way. But yeah, I'm sorry for being a shitty American, everyone out there. I do believe in democracy. It's a great thing. But yeah, unfortunately, it's just not going to happen for me this time. That's all I got to say about
It's okay,
that.
Steve. It's fine. As long as you don't cut the line leaving the plane, we're still friends.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I will definitely never do that. I promise to vote in the next election. Those will be my 2 goals for the next 4 years, is not cutting the line on a plane and voting in the next election.
Okay, great. Yeah, that sounds good. I support you. Oh, it's good to always be growing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah. All right. Anything else on Athens?
No, but amazing. Yeah, I can't give it enough props. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, definitely not as pristine as some other European cities. Like you said, it does have that grungy kind of feel, but it's kind of a vibe. And it's kind of like when we were talking about Georgia,
Yeah.
which is funny because there's also in Athens, Georgia, those hogs, but we're not talking about the American Georgia again.
Right.
But yeah, it does have that kind of vibe a little bit, but it's beautiful in its own way. Again, they try to preserve all the old shit, and they do a good job.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Good shit. All right, let's wrap this bad boy up. What else we got to say?
Yeah. Just take a weird trip, Steve.
And before you take a weird trip, make sure to rate our podcast 5 stars on Spotify. Follow our Instagram account, follow our TikTok account. If you guys have any nightmares, news, stories that you guys want to share with us, have us talk about them on the pod. Man, I sound like such a podcaster right now.
If you've ever checked more than 3 bags for a flight, send us a message.
I would say more than 2, or even 2.
More than 2, or 2 or more.
Yeah, 2 or more. Or if you have checked 4, for sure, let us know. But that I don't
want to inbound. We're choosing the one who's checked the most.
For sure. Yeah. Someone's gonna be like, "Yeah, I've checked 8." I'm like, "Okay, you're on.
We're gonna need a receipt for that. Like,
prove it."
Yeah.
Okay, Jack. Tell them one more time.
Take a weird trip.